only thing with the White Sox, I say they've been coasting into the playoffs, and Tampa Bay's been having to win. It just depends on who gets hot.
The Philadelphia Eagles do have an opportunity.
To be honest, I thought you were going to say the Atlanta Falcons.
No, fuck no.
Oh, God, yeah. That would have been warranted.
Paul George to show up again, and they need Reggie Jackson to be the best point guard left standing outside of Trae Young, who's hurt. What is going on, guys? My name is Kyle Davis. This is MV3, and for like the third time in the last 3 months, we are back.
We are back.
I think we're finally back though. I think we're
so.
all set on scheduling. I think we're gonna have some good guests in the near future. But as everybody knows, you guys know the guy to my right. This is T-Bone. How we doing today, man?
It's a good day. You know, one day before the weekend, it's all good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Bucks basketball starting up tonight. We got an amazing Thursday night football game with half the Saints not playing.
Oh my God, I forgot about that.
I think everybody did. But this is the good thing about tonight is that Deandre Hopkins is back. One of the better receivers in the league. Do we know what he's going to be? Not a shot. But, I mean, why don't we come off the top with that right away? DeAndre Hopkins just got off suspension for, what was it, PEDs? I think it was PEDs, I believe. And now he's back. Do you think he's going to make an immediate impact tonight? And I have a joke that will go along with this once we move in a little bit more. And I have a feeling you know what that joke is.
Yikes.
But DeAndre Hopkins, immediate, like fantasy wise, on the field wise. And the other question for the Cardinals fans out there is Robbie Anderson going to turn back into what Robbie Anderson was? Because think about this. Last week, their starting wide receivers were what? Hollywood Brown,
Greg Dortch,
Zach Ertz.
Zach was Moore playing.
I think Moore was playing, but not to a very large capacity.
And then AJ Green.
Yeah, and now they have take out Marquise Brown, add in Robbie Anderson and DeAndre Hopkins, and they're going against a team that loaded defense, but they're missing Michael Thomas, they're missing Jarvis Landry, and I think Marshawn Lattimore. I don't think Marshawn Lattimore is suiting up either tonight. So I'll go back to the starter question. What do you think DeAndre Hopkins' effect on the game tonight is going to be?
Between him and Anderson, like, because this is both their like game one with the team. Like Hopkins, obviously there last year, but I think he has the better shot. But I don't know. I mean, 6 weeks now, he's off drugs and off PEDs. Granted, he never tested positive before until this, so you can't be like, oh, he was only good because of PEDs. You can't say that the guy's a freak of nature, but.
I don't know if PEDs help you catch that ball, though. It helps you get open, but you still got to catch that ball.
Yeah. I think if anyone might, like, I don't expect anything from Robbie Anderson at least until next week. Hopkins, I wouldn't play him unless I had to. Like, if I had him I have one league where I have, like, the Bills are on the bye, the Rams are on the bye, so that's a lot of fantasy players. Like,
oh, yeah.
I think I have Eagles. 8. And the Eagles. I think I have 7 guys on bye on a dynasty team, and I'm like,
oh God,
geez. Like, my team is gonna be okay, but like if I had Hopkins, then I would be playing him. But if I didn't have to, I wouldn't. Yeah. At least he can come back, get his feet wet, and then have a week and a half to kind of like get ramped up. But no, I don't think, unless you're looking for something major. I mean, he'll probably catch 4 or 5 balls, but I don't expect like a 10 for 180 and 2 touchdowns or anything.
I expect him to come in with at least a touchdown tonight because he is obviously a red zone threat. But if you're the Saints, are you double teaming him? I don't think you are. He hasn't played in 6 weeks.
No, you're not double teaming him. Especially not with Lattimore out.
Right. And the other issue is we have no clue what Robbie Anderson's going to be because he's been playing like garbage, and whether that's
who was throwing him the football?
Baker Mayfield. You know what the other problem is with tonight, and why I don't think DeAndre Hopkins or Robbie Anderson are going to do well. Call of Duty's early access campaign came out today. So
only the campaign came out. Okay. That's the only thing that came out. Nothing.
So
else
we have
came
one
out.
more. So we have one more solid week out of Kyler Murray before he jumps off his usual hill. Week 7.
It launches.
Launches next week, Friday, the 28th.
Yeah, he's fucked next weekend.
Oh yeah.
But that's okay.
I don't have him in any of my leagues, and there's a specific reason why I didn't touch him in any of my leagues. And I watched everybody draft him relatively early, and I'm like, all right, have fun with your 6 weeks of success, because once week 7 and week 8 hits, bye.
I mean, he was really good last year,
Mm-hmm.
but then they were still, they were like 10-0 when they faced the Packers or something like that?
Something like that. It was either they had no losses or like 1 loss, I think.
Like 9-1 or 10-0 or something like that. Like,
did the Packers win that game?
Yeah.
Okay.
But they were without Devontae. I think they were without Devontae and Cobb, and they won with like Lazard and Amari Rodgers, and Tunyon was out. Like, they had nobody.
So who's going to win this disgusting Thursday night game? Because I don't think since week 1 we haven't had even a decent.
No, the last 2 Thursdays have been really bad.
Yeah. What was it? Bears and Commanders, and then Colts. Broncos? Oh my God. Even Monday night was hard to watch, and the Chargers have a relatively good offense, especially when Keenan Allen eventually comes back.
Yeah, there's been some real bad games recently.
Yeah, it's weird.
It's not fun to watch.
Well, and you look around the league even, and I'm bringing it up as we speak, like you look around the league and you have obviously your top tier teams, and everybody disagrees with me. I don't give a shit. Your top tier teams right now are the Vikings, at least standings wise. Obviously, we're not doing a power rankings because you and I will just go toe to toe all fucking night.
That's true.
So at the top of these are teams with 1 or 0 losses. The Minnesota Vikings, the New York Giants, the Philadelphia Eagles.
That's fine. And
the Buffalo Bills. Those are your teams with either 1 or 0 losses on the year so far. How disgusting is that? And what's the only team here that makes sense? None of them.
Probably the Eagles. No, Bills and Eagles.
The Bills and the Eagles. We thought that the Eagles were going to be there. Just because of scheduling and stuff like that. And this will lead me into my next question for you. Right. The Eagles, they've been playing. I'm not going to call them subpar teams because no NFL team is just a terrible team. You still have to line up and shut up.
Wrong.
I mean, I guess
even going forward, they don't. Jesus Christ, they don't face like a bad. Like they beat the Cowboys. Obviously, we saw that.
Mm-hmm. A Cowboys team that was coming in very hot with Cooper Rush, right. And they were talking him up, talking about this quarterback battle and da. And all the Eagles did was come in, lose Lane Johnson. They had 1 or 2 bad drives, and then just got back to work.
I mean, the Steelers aren't good. The Texans aren't good. Washington's not good. Indianapolis isn't good. The Packers, if they figure it out in the next month, is the biggest quote test. But if the Packers are playing the way they are, that's not a problem. Tennessee's not a problem. Then they play the Giants.
Not the way the Eagles run their defense, because the Titans are very run heavy. And what do the Eagles do well? They defend the run. They have a very large man in the middle there.
And even if you want to tell me that the Giants are good, which is fine, you can make that argument. Mm-hmm. But I'm going to take the quarterback in that matchup, and it's going to be Jalen Hurts over Danny Dimes for both games. Mm-hmm. And then you get the Bears, probably the worst team in the NFL.
I would second that, yes.
The Cowboys again, and then the Saints.
And then the Giants to finish it up.
That's what I'm saying. So you're playing the Giants twice, but outside of the Cowboys, Saints, and maybe the Packers, there's no real good teams on their schedule.
So I think there's a couple trap games in here. I think the Bears could be a trap game, but I still think they take care of business. And also I think so. My 2 losses, I have 2. I'm thinking the Eagles are going to go 15-2. That was my thing. I don't know if you saw this, but I have them dropping 1 to the Cowboys.
That's fine.
And then I have them dropping the final game of the season to the Giants. And that's only because I think they rest most of their starters, because they already got that 1 loss out of the way. They're not chasing undefeated season or something. Granted, there's going to be a hiccup somewhere in here. They're not going to go undefeated up until week 16 like I'm thinking they will. But on paper, they should be able to take down these teams. Granted, the Packers could trade for somebody. And if they do, they could turn their season around real quick. there's receivers that are starting to pop up that good. We were talking about this before. Elijah Moore, Corey Davis. There's always like Mike Gesicki is possibly on the trade block now.
What does he do for me? I have two good tight ends. What does that do?
Bob Tunyon and who? Mercedes Lewis?
A great blocking tight end. Probably the best blocking tight end.
But you need weapons. Aaron Rodgers needs weapons to push the ball down the field. Not
a tight end.
When was the last time? Who was the tight end of the Packers when the Packers went to the Super Bowl in 2011? Was that your Michael? That was your Michael Finley.
They didn't. I would like to correct you. They did not go in 2011. In 2011, they were 15-1 and they lost in the division round.
Oh shit, that's right. 2009.
When they were 10-6 and they were the wild card, that would be 2010.
It was your Michael Finley, though, correct?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Okay. And then quick sidebar. We have a question from Cisco. Do you start Dak if you're the Cowboys or keep Cooper Kupp or Cooper Rush? Sorry.
Doesn't matter, but they both suck. Doesn't matter.
I like your answer, but to make a long story short, Dak Prescott is the paid quarterback. Cooper Rush would only be playing continually if they're going to trade him.
That's actually, I disagree with that because what happened with Brady, Drew Bledsoe was the highest paid quarterback in the league when he went down and Brady took over, and they went with the backup.
Okay, so
I'm just
outside of you thinking the Cowboys are garbage, what about the question?
I'm just saying the paid quarterback thing has been the last time that really happened. Maybe Cooper Rush is the next Tom Brady. I don't know.
Cisco's at it again.
Fine, whatever. I'm okay with that. I like a guy like Cooper. Bring Cooper Kupp too. That's fine. Bring all the Coopers.
Jesus Christ.
Amari Cooper.
Jesus. All of the Coopers all in one place.
Cooper Rush, Amari Cooper, Cooper Kupp, Packers win a Super Bowl.
I don't think I'm going to be honest. This is okay. So I have two opinions. One, my opinion on what I think the Cowboys should do, which really doesn't matter. But what I think they should continue to start Cooper Rush. He had one poor game. Other than that, he's been an incredible game manager. He's been winning games. He hasn't been blowing teams out, but they have a solid defense. They have some work to do on the O-line again. I know they still have Zach Martin, but other than that, their offensive line is kind of crappy. Ezekiel Elliott's starting to look like he's a good player again, and what they need is a game manager. Yeah, I understand. I hate that too. Zeke is still a terrible running back, in my opinion. Totally Pollard should be taking 90% of the snaps in that offense, but they're going to start Dak Prescott. That's what we're going to see. I'm pretty sure some announcements have come out that Dak Prescott is going to be starting. And I understand why they didn't rush him out to the Eagles game. You don't want his first game back to be against that defense, especially in the division. You're going to come back against a poor defense in Detroit. You're going to be able to see Dak Prescott have time in the pocket because outside of Aiden Hutchinson, which how's he doing, by the way? I saw his week 1. He put up like 2 sacks. Has he been steady?
He had 3.
Was it 3?
I honestly haven't. No, I think he put up. He might have. Did he put 3 in 1? I know he put 3. He had 3 total.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking him up, but okay. I mean, if you have 2 good quarterbacks, you have 0 good quarterbacks.
Very true.
So
I'll say that unless your starter gets hurt, and then you're the Philadelphia Eagles from 4 years ago.
Hutch has 3 in 5 games.
Okay, so he's doing well. He is playing very well.
He's doing okay. He's got 14 total tackles, 9 solo, 3 sacks, 2 tackles for losses. So he's not bad. Not bad.
He's definitely not bad on a defense that is yearning for some talent.
Right.
Because I can't name many players off that defense, but I know there's some young talent on that defense, and maybe in a couple of years, maybe they'll get a quarterback, they'll put things together, because right now their problem isn't the offense outside of facing the Patriots. But they were putting up numbers against all of these teams. One of the teams included are the Philadelphia Eagles, who have been rolling. The Eagles barely scraped by them. It's one of those things that you could see the Lions competing for a division title maybe in 2 years, but they still need pieces to fall in, and they still have a Rams pick, and that Rams pick could be looking a lot better if they don't get anything better.
I mean, the problem with the Lions is that 3 of their top 5 tacklers are defensive backs.
Mm-hmm.
Their safety is tied for the team lead. That's not good.
No, I would not say it's not good. If Dak loses to Detroit, do they go back to Rush? No.
I wish.
I wish as well.
I wish evil upon that I don't like the Eagles traditionally, but I'm okay with the Eagles, and I know my co-host would love if they decided to go and stay with Cooper Rush.
Go Birds. Go Birds. Why wouldn't they go back to him? Damn. I think Zach's asking why wouldn't they go back to Cooper Rush? Because Dak Prescott has proven that he can push the ball downfield. He's an accurate passer. He's a bit more mobile than Cooper Rush, and against teams like the Eagles, the Giants, who both have, I wouldn't call the Giants a stud defense, but above average defenses by both of them. I think the Eagles are ranked like 8th or 7th in the league in total yards, and they're the only thing they're leading the league on defenses is turnover ratio. Which the stat's ridiculous. They're plus 14. The next closest team is plus 4, and that's the Baltimore Ravens.
Yeah, so this might be controversial.
I love controversial.
Cooper Rush is like the Walmart Andy Dalton. He's like a good game manager, but he's like the backup. He's like what Andy Dalton is now.
Okay, I was going to say, you need to clarify when.
Andy Dalton right now is worse than Cooper Rush. But like Andy Dalton of like 8 years ago,
big, though.
No, it's not. Andy Dalton of 8 years ago.
I take Andy Dalton 10 times out of 10.
No.
Over Cooper Rush, I would take Andy Dalton on the Bengals 10 times out of 10, especially with the weapons. Like, do you think if you put Cooper Rush on that Bengals team,
yep,
they win a playoff game?
The weapons, they both had weapons. The guy was undefeated.
Because those weapons, I feel like the Bengals have always had weapons over the last 2 decades.
Yeah, they just had bad quarterbacks.
Yeah, very true.
So that's my comparison. I think Dak Prescott. Now bear with me. So I think of him as an elevated game manager. Is he better than like the Alex Smith, the Ryan Fitzpatrick, the Andy Daltons of the world? Yes.
Dak Prescott?
Yes.
Okay.
He's better than them, but he's like not as mobile as like a Kaepernick or Lamar or Kyler. He's like a step below. So he's not as dynamic. So he's like the high end game manager.
Okay, now don't take this out of context. He has the same mobility as Aaron Rodgers throughout 90% of his career. That's what his mobility is. Like Rodgers was never rushing to rush. Rodgers was rushing to the side to try and get a better angle at a receiver or extending a play. I don't think Dak's running the ball just to run the ball like Lamar and Josh Allen and Kyler Murray.
I think you might be right, but I disagree on principle.
I understand that.
I don't like
here's a comparison for you. Bailey Zappi or Cooper Rush.
Bailey Zappi can suck my balls. Okay. He won
you
me
a Western Kentucky boy?
I was gonna say he can suck my balls because he won me so much money, but then he lost me a lot of money in the last week of the season. So he can get fucked.
Doesn't he hold now the single season passing record, or is the passing touchdown?
Yeah, but he lost like his last game when I like bet everything on him and he lost.
Based on skill, not record, I think I would still take Cooper Rush. Cooper Rush has been in the league for 4 years? Just off like knowledge alone, I feel like I would take Cooper Rush over Bailey Zappi.
Oh yeah, I thought you were talking Dak. So I was like, what?
Oh no. Dak's been in the league for 6 or 7 years now. 6 years? I think 6 years. But regardless, and you'll agree with me with this because we both hate the fucking Cowboys. They're not going to win anything. Their collapse is coming because they're going to have...
Even if their collapse isn't coming, it's going to come in round 1 of the playoffs.
Oh, 100%. But it won't be against the Eagles. It'll be against... Let me bring up the standings.
I have it up.
Okay.
I have to get there because I was looking at Detroit stats.
Yeah, I know. I keep fumbling around here.
Standings. Playoff. They would be playing probably what are we going to say? They're 5 seed?
Right now they're the
because they're not going to win the division.
Correct. So they would play Tampa Bay in the first round, and I think Tampa Bay's defense would absolutely suffocate the Cowboys. Micah Parsons is a phenomenal defensive player, but that does not mean the rest of your defense is good. You have 3 names on that defense. One of them I don't like, and I don't think he's good. I just think they throw the ball to him too much. They have Diggs, they have Leighton Vander Esch, and they have Micah Parsons. I'll give you 4 because DeMarcus Lawrence is a good pass rusher.
Their only hope is that they get into the 5 seed, and if it stayed the way it was, they'd be playing San Francisco.
Oh, right. Man, the Rams would play the Vikings, and oh my God, these standings don't make sense. The 1 seed is the Eagles, the 2 seed is the Vikings, who should not be there. The Buccaneers, the 49ers, the Giants.
Yeah, you're not telling me that anyone predicted the Raiders to be 1-4. Now, maybe the Bears, Steelers, Texans, Lions, Panthers. Sure, maybe.
The Bears arguably should only have 1 win on their season right now.
Yeah, the fact that they beat the 49ers is a fluke.
Well, it's a fluke because they were playing in a tsunami, damn near.
That's what I'm saying. So that game doesn't count.
The Steelers, when Kenny Pickett came in, I think 2 weeks ago, he looked good. Kenny Pickett looked the part of an NFL quarterback for that half. And then this next game when he came in, and I can't remember who they played.
The Bucks.
The Buccaneers, and they won the game. Yes, but Kenny Pickett did not look that good though.
Yeah, because it's a good coach. He's going to pick apart a rookie quarterback.
Yeah, that's fair.
I don't know if he's playing this week. I don't know if he's still hurt.
He might still be, and then that would be go back to Mitch, and I don't know how great of a idea that would be. So, shall we move to the hometown team, the Green Bay Packers?
Let's do it.
Let's make it nice and simple for you. What the fuck is going on in Green Bay? What is wrong with this team? Do you think it's the defense? Do you think it's Rodgers? No. Do you think it's the receivers? Do you think it's the O-line? Do you think it's coaching?
Bingo.
Not
Matt LaFleur. Not Matt LaFleur.
Offensive coordinator.
Matt LaFleur is a good head coach, but I think he's either... I guess you got to put blame on LaFleur because of the play calling. He calls the plays.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's Rodgers in a bit. I think he trusts Dobbs more than any of the rookies.
Mm-hmm.
He trusts him more than Amari Rodgers and Christian Watson. Well deserved. Dobbs has looked like a potential, good wide receiver. Not like an elite guy, but he looks like he could be the number one in 2-3 years. Whatever. Kind of like Devontae did. Devontae showed flashes and then became elite. No one thought Devontae was going to be the most elite wide receiver coming out of college.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever. So, Dobbs has shown flashes. They're not... I don't know what they're doing with their running back situation. They probably have 2 top 20 running backs when they're at their peak. Aaron Jones, you're not going to talk me off that he's not a top 15.
I'm not going to talk you off of Aaron Jones.
A.J. Dillon, if you want to tell me top 25, I'll
give you 25, but I can probably name...
I can probably argue maybe...
A couple of them.
He gets in at 19, 20, whatever.
Sure. But I would argue to say that Aaron Jones, the way he was playing up until this year, he was a top 10 running back, 100%. Arguably a top 5 running back.
He is their most, without Devontae, he is their most dynamic open field player. Cobb's still shown little young flashes. You
want to argue with a Lions fan real quick?
Listen, I live there. I love Lions fans. Yeah, right. And I have no problem with that.
I have a problem with it. They have a two-headed monster. You have a two-headed monster. Why don't the what?
Look at him.
He's
just standing there.
He's just standing there. So when you have Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon, why don't you act like the Browns? Granted, the quarterback is a different situation. Why don't you act like the Browns and turn Aaron Rodgers, who's still a great quarterback, phenomenal quarterback, elite quarterback. He just won MVP.
I get it. Twice.
So you need to run the ball and set up the pass, set up those deep shots, so you're not getting double covered. It doesn't make sense,
right? So, but I can't blame the running backs because they can't control what's called. You see Aaron Jones, you see Dillon. I know we talked earlier about the stats of AJ Dillon and not being that effective, within the tackles.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't need him to be that. Would it be nice? Does he have the potential? He's actually shown that he can catch a little bit. If Aaron Jones is also a pretty solid route runner for a running back, he might just be a good route runner, period. I haven't seen him enough. If you're not going to put Rodgers side by side with them, put one in the slot. Have Aaron Jones come across, do the jet sweep, or, read option to Dillon, flip to Jones, or pass to someone in the slant. It's the play calling. It's being too simple or too complicated, how you want to ask.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not. Hold on. I don't know, I don't get it.
It was like Tyler being here, but because you just muted, it's just like having the censor noise.
I know. Yeah,
that was good.
Like, they have the weapons. I made the argument in the past. Cobb, Lazard, the rookies, Tunyon, Aaron Jones, A.J. Dillon, and Rodgers are a capable offense.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they're bad. But the play calling, why are we running the ball only like 15 times a game?
Right, especially when it's not like you're not feeding one running back 15 times. You're feeding two different running backs 15 times. And it seems like they're running A.J. Dillon a little bit more than Aaron Jones, which, to your credit, Zach, he thinks it should be 80-20. I think the split, I would say 70-30.
Or 65-35.
That would be my ideal world.
Like, they're both good running backs. They both can kind of catch whatever. They both are good between the tackles.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a lot like the Browns. Nick Chubb is the bruiser, and Kareem Hunt is not a scat back because Kareem Hunt's not a small boy.
No.
But he can catch the ball. He's in open field. That's Aaron Jones. A.J. Dillon's the bruiser. Like, granted, the Browns kind of suck, but they have a really bad quarterback. Until
until week 11. Week 11. What are we in 6? 5 weeks? 4 or 5 weeks?
Unrelated. Do you know who they play that week? Because I do.
Oh, I know, and this is set up. It's a setup from hell. And
100%.
Do you have any idea? Depending on where they're sitting. Okay, now he looks adorable back there.
Oh yeah, there he is.
with the look and everything.
He's just chilling. Yeah, he's just. Yeah.
Who's Bobby T? Am I stupid?
Bob Tunyon.
Big Bob. Okay.
He should be.
And he should be more effective this week.
Bob Tunyon don't need to catch 8. He doesn't need to be Travis Kelce, but 6 for 50, 6 for 60, 4 for 35 and a touchdown.
That's what they're missing on the goal line. Missing on the goal line.
And giving A.J. Dillon the fucking ball. The guy's a bowling ball. You're at the 1. Here you go. Dunzo. We don't have Devontae Adams to beat a guy immediately off the line and do a back shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
There was a throw that they did with, I think it was Dobbs, who had a great back shoulder catch, and I think it was for a first down, not a touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, you don't have the Jordy Nelson jump ball. You don't have the Devontae Adams back shoulder. You're at 3rd and 1 at the goal. Run the effing football. Like, what are we doing? Or sneak the ball. We've talked about this. The QB sneak is like 92% effective from 1 and distance. What are we doing?
To answer your questions, Zach asked, with him being back, is that a game changer for the Pack? This coming week, yes. The following week, they're going to get dog walked by the Buffalo Bills.
Oh, maybe, probably.
You've seen what the Bills have done to quality teams. Granted, I don't think the Rams are as quality as we thought they were going to be coming in, because when at the beginning of the season, we thought they were Super Bowl favorites. Who would you slot into that NFC Super Bowl favorite now?
Philly.
Do you think it's like without a doubt Philly, or is there like a number 2? I don't think it's the Vikings. I don't think it's the Buccaneers. The NFC is...
It's not the Buccaneers.
I think the NFC is so up in the air right now that I think there's 3 teams that are in the playoffs right now that could fall out of the playoffs.
I mean, Eagles have to be the clear-cut, like, favorite.
Mm-hmm. Do you still look at teams like Arizona, who is 2-4? Could they put the pieces together?
Yeah, probably.
Okay. So his answer to my question are who your Super Bowl contenders. He says Philly, the Vikings, and the Giants.
Giants, no.
I will poke a hole in both the Vikings and the Giants. The Giants, quarterback. End of story. Vikings, defense is a problem.
Yeah, but that offense is pretty freaking...
Outside of the 1 week against Philly, and it seemed like Philly like cracked the code on how to stop Justin Jefferson, and the following opponent that did that, they were successful, but then they started getting it to Adam Thielen, Irv Smith, the third guy, I can't remember what his name
Osborne.
is. Yeah. Is it KJ? KJ Osborne?
It is. Yep.
And then you have Dalvin Cook, which I don't understand what's going on with Dalvin Cook this year either. He has like 1 or 2 decent runs, but other than that, he's ineffective at best.
He's averaging 75 yards a game. He's got 450 yards on 94 attempts, 4 touchdowns.
You have his stats in front of you, don't you?
I do, yeah. I don't think it's bad, but it's not like Dalvin for what they're doing with him. I mean, the new regime in Minnesota is saying, "Hey, we're feeding fucking Justin Jefferson," which they should. If you want to know the split, Jefferson has 46 catches on 63 targets for 650 yards. Do you want to take a shot at tell me how many yards Thielen has?
A fourth of that?
400 less. So a third. Like
the thing is they changed their offense around their best player on offense, which it's understandable. Which 100% that's what they should do. They should lean into what they're good at, which is getting Justin Jefferson the ball, who could be
and then
open.
Thielen's not bad. I want to clarify that doesn't mean I think Thielen's a bad player. The guy's a really nice guy. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what to tell you.
I'm sure he's a nice guy.
I have a lot of respect for him after I watched him in college in person. Okay, like.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't know I watched him until like 4 years later. Not the point, but they just need that offense. Like, okay, you're going to take away Justin Jefferson and Thielen. Well, Dalvin Cook is still Dalvin Cook. Like,
correct.
Is he the numbers he was? No, but he doesn't need to be in this offense.
No, not anymore. But
if he gets 1,200 yards, fine.
That's successful.
If he averages 80 yards a game, which he's 5 off right now, if he averages 80 to 90 yards a game, fine. Like,
and that's all you need from him. And honestly, that's what they're expecting out of him. But Dalvin Cook, like fantasy owners, and this I'm gonna lead into our next topic here. Fantasy owners are starting to really get upset because is he putting up rushing yards?
Not really. Not. I mean.
Oh, he is.
If he's averaging 70, if he's averaging 75, that's only 7.5 points.
But he's the 6th leading rusher in the league behind Lamar Jackson.
Is he really? That's top 5. That's top 10.
Oh no, there's the top 2 and then a massive drop off.
I'm gonna look at. Don't tell me because
okay.
I won't look.
All right. So guess who number 1 is before you bring it up?
For rushing?
Yeah, it's not. I was surprised when I looked at it.
Based on that, I would say Saquon.
Well, he's number 2.
Derrick Henry hasn't been that good.
Chubb.
Oh, Nicky Chubbs.
Nick Chubb has 649 rushing yards. Saquon
Lamar
has 600.
Jackson's in
that's
the
what
top 5. What are we doing, Baltimore?
Yeah, that's your problem. You have J.K. Dobbins. You have all of these running, but you have J.K. Dobbins, Chase Edmonds, Mike Davis. You have all of these names. They have big names. It's going well. Christian McCaffrey hasn't had a slouch year either, and also Breece Hall is making an argument for offensive rookie of the year.
We're talking shit here. Damian Pierce as well. We're talking shit, but like Aaron Jones is still top 10 in rushing.
That's crazy to me because it just doesn't seem like it.
Right. So
it
it's
just
like
does, and nobody's good.
Because everyone's like, run the ball more. And they're like, well, we run the ball. He's top 10 in rushing. Granted, rushing yards is a bullshit stat. If you can't catch and rush, you're useless.
Who are you responding how to? Because I am very curious. Are you saying Saquon how or Lamar Jackson how? Also, Miles Sanders. Miles Sanders is in the top 4. And it does not seem like Miles Sanders is getting really loose.
Yeah, do you remember that one time last year he touched the ball 4 times? Do you remember that? I do. That you were all on Aaron Jones. Yeah, Aaron Jones. Don't understand how, man.
No. And looking down this list, like, what are we? We're going into week 7, correct?
Yeah.
So we don't have that dominant runner like the last few years that we've had. JT, Derrick Henry, Christian McCaffrey put 1,000 together. We don't have that dominant running back. I thought we were starting to get, and maybe it's just that the league is just moving towards a defensive vibe now. But you still have quarterbacks. Granted, I feel like the difference is a lot different now. But even like offensive leaders in throwing yards, it's not ridiculous. Yeah, Josh Allen's throwing out of his mind for almost 2,000 yards, but a quarterback like Matt Ryan is number 2 right now.
Yeah, that's that Jameis Winston argument though. Like he was bad in throwing 30 for 30, but he still threw for like 5,000 yards or some shit. Like,
yeah, so Matt Ryan in the Indianapolis Colts offense with the receivers that he has, not named Michael Pittman.
There's bad.
It's bad. He's throwing almost 1,800 yards for more than Patrick Mahomes, Justin Herbert, Joe Burrow. I'm glossed over Tom Brady, Jalen Hurts, Kirk Cousins, and then you get the rest of the league. Rodgers is 14th, by the way. Just needed to throw that in. Lamar might be rushing for absurd numbers, but he's 19th in throwing passing yards.
Who do you think's the leading running back for receiving? I have it up. So
for receiving
running backs,
it's not McCaffrey because that would be too easy.
Mm-hmm.
Saquon's probably not there. Kareem Hunt might be up there. Is it Breece Hall?
Nope.
No, I figured I'd take that stab in the dark.
Breece Hall is top 5 for running backs. So it goes Breece Hall at 5, Leonard Fournette. Sorry, Breece Hall is 4. My bad. Breece Hall is 4. Oh, there's a big drop off between 4 and 5 though.
Oh, okay.
Devin Singletary's at 5. Breece Hall's at 4. Fournette's at 3. Austin Eckler's at 2. McCaffrey's 1.
Oh, I was right. Okay. Yeah. Austin Eckler at 2.
Also, completely unrelated, and I hate to cut you off, but I'm going to do it because this revolves around our fantasy league. You guys wanted to clown me for taking Andrews and Kelsey. Yep, they're both top 10 in receiving. So
that's all well, fine and good, my friend. But how's your record? What are you, 2-3, 2-4, 3-3?
I'm 3-3. Thank you very much.
3-3. You have a better record than me, but my team is also complete ass.
I'm just saying. Who do you think's leading the league in receiving?
Leading the league in receiving.
Yards.
It's not Justin Jefferson because he fell off for 2 weeks. Stephon Diggs.
Close.
Stephon Diggs is 2
second.
Probably then.
He's second.
Oh, yeah.
By about 50 yards.
By about 50 yards?
Mm-hmm. He's the only guy over 700 currently.
It's not Kupp. Kupp hasn't had that good of a year.
He's still at 600.
Yeah. It's going to bother me because is it a name? Is it a name that should be up there?
But yes, but not someone we thought would be up there. But he is a name.
So wait, with 700 yards, it's not Stephon Diggs.
No, it's not Jefferson and Kupp.
It's not Kelsey. It can't be Kelsey.
No, Kelsey's 9. Diggs is 2. Jefferson's 3.
Jamar Chase?
4. Nope, he's 8.
Oh, he's that far down. I'm just looking at quarterbacks. I'm not.
Actually, this team. I don't know if this is going to help you. This team has 2 wide receivers in the top 5 for receiving. I wouldn't have thought this either, looking at it, but you tell me when you give up.
It can't be Mike Evans. It can't be Joe Burrow. Matthew Stafford. No.
Nope.
You have 2 that high. He's got to be a quarterback who's thrown a lot.
Let's just say he's also supposed to be. He was on our list for topics.
Is it Devontae Adams?
No, it is Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle.
Oh shit! Yeah, duh. Tua.
Tyreek with 700 yards and Jalen Waddle with 553.
I like that Zach chimed in with Goff because I would have never thought that Amon-Ra is probably in the top 15. I wouldn't say top 10 because he was hurt, wasn't he?
So in relation to that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Tua is only 20. I know he missed 2 games, 1 game,
2 games, 2 games.
Kind of 2 because he played 1 and they got hurt, and then
correct.
So he actually I want to make sure I say this right. Yeah, so Waddle and Tyreek combined have more yards than Tua has passing. Yep. What? Tua has thrown for 1,035 yards. Tyreek and Waddle combined have received for 1,234.
Oh my god, my head hurts.
Is that not some crazy stat? That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous on how I'm curious to see for fantasy wise what is the target share between the 2 of them on their entire offense. It has to be like 75-80%. It has to be
for just those 2. You still have Gesicki, who gets a decent amount of targets. He doesn't get a lot of catches. I'm trying to think of anybody else on that receiving core that I cannot even think of. And they don't throw it at a running back very often. No, I'm
gonna go to to see them both in top 5.
That's fair. Surprising. While you're looking at that, we do have, like, obviously we just mentioned Tua and everything, and that leads me into my next topic. And anybody who's watching, I'd like you to chime in on this as well. Yep. It's football related, but it's bigger than football at the same time. Tua Tagovailoa went not down once with what looked like a concussion, but twice, and was knocked out of the game. And not only knocked out of the game, it was a very hard, very difficult thing to watch when he went down on Thursday Night Football a couple weeks ago and he went into a seizure. I guess my question to you is the concussion protocol up until 2 weeks ago, is the NFL doing the right thing with the concussion protocol? Because it really seems like they were undefeated at the time. I understand that. It just seems like a player's health is at some point needs to be taken over the team, because it really seems like Tua's situation, they were not putting his health into it. They were only thinking about the team record.
So I know what Mike McDaniel, you know who I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. Their head coach. As a coach, granted it's high school and it's a lot different, but like, if I see that, but the kid's coming out, and I coach freshmen and sophomores, mm-hmm. like, obviously my level in an NFL head coach, wildly different. I'm not trying to, it's apples to oranges, but the profession is the same.
Correct.
I don't know at what point you have to take, like, you cannot make that the head coach's responsibility. Like, the NFLPA, they hired, from what we're told, non-biased, non-partisan to the team, player friendly. So I am okay with the guy that he got fired. I don't know the process of what happened. I know they released a report. I read some of it. I don't remember what it said. But in the situation, I understand why people want to say, McDaniel, you saw it. You saw what it looked like. Everyone should have said he shouldn't have played again. I get that. But if the procedure was followed, which it sounds like it was, like the eye test, like we talk about in college football, is not a thing for the NFL. The eye test is, well, if you follow a procedure and you're cleared, you can go play.
Correct.
If he passed it, said, hey, it was my ankle, my back, whatever you want to fucking call it, and the neuro guy says, hey, he's good. How, like, and I think Rex Ryan was the one that said, I would pull my quarterback. No, the fuck you wouldn't.
No, fuck you wouldn't.
Maybe because it's Mark Sanchez and Mark Sanchez sucks balls, but no, you would not. That's a lie. Like, if you had your quarterback, the independent guy coming to you and saying he's clear, that he said it was his back, his ankle, whatever, he's clear, he passed his tests, he can go back in. At what point is the coach going to be like, nah, I know more than the medical doctors? Like, I get the outrage, and I'm glad that the NFL said, hey, maybe we need to relook at this. Mm-hmm. But, like, come on, man. Like, that's not – I can't blame McDaniel. I can't blame Tua.
No. You know what? Especially with Tua. Tua is a competitor. He is 100%. As soon as all he heard is that I can go back in, I'm going the fuck back in then. Right. That's all he heard. If I can play, I'm playing. That's how 99% of athletes are, because you're a competitor. Your job is to be a competitor.
You're not a top 10 pick, star quarterback at Alabama winning national championships by not being one of the fiercest competitors in the league.
Mm-hmm. And he's answering the question too. It's almost seems like, and I'll read it out for our audio listeners. They were not, Zach Zuba chimes in, they were not, but now it seems like they're protecting the quarterback even more, AKA Chris Jones' sack a week or two ago. The big thing about that, and it seems like some people are kind of having backlash with what appears to be an overcorrection of the rule of the protocols. I'd rather them overcorrect than undercorrect, because
I have to, because yes, I agree with you, but the overcorrection is not because of a big hit to a quarterback. A sack on the quarterback is not a fucking offense.
Mm-mm.
Just because you sacked him doesn't mean, oh, flag him. Like, Chris Jones' sack is probably one of the worst calls since that non-pass interference against the Rams and Saints.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the knee-jerk reaction to be like, hey, we need to review this policy and how we handle concussions now. Great over, even if I think it's a proper reaction or an overreaction. But, like, you can't treat, they do, but you can't just take the quarterback and say, we care about these guys, we don't care about the rest of you. Because
Agreed,
that's
Zach.
what they're doing. They're saying quarterbacks are more important. Granted, we know that they are in terms of the grand scheme of the game, but in terms of player safety, everyone should be treated equally. Like,
also the money aspect.
Right. I'm not dumb to the fact that there's money involved. There's ratings. There's no one wants to see Skylar Thompson play for the fucking Dolphins. I get that. But if the NFL wants to hang its hat on player safety, we're on concussion, we do protocols, we do this, guardian caps, whatever, you cannot baby the fucking quarterbacks.
Right.
You have to, granted, they're the ones, you have defensive receivers, you have different things to protect a bunch of different players. But I've never seen I've never seen Derrick Henry get flagged for lowering his head and throwing people out of his way. That's the same kind of collision.
See, okay, now this is a question that could be very difficult to answer. I don't personally know the answer.
Yeah.
We don't personally know the answer. We could give suggestions, but not like this is ever going to get to an NFL level from us anyway. There is, I think they implemented for a while an independent camera that literally just watches a player after a tackle, every single tackle. There is an independent camera around from that one certain people are watching that say, all right, he has tendencies of a concussion, pull him out, get him checked out. The other thing that is a good idea and I personally like is that when you go into concussion protocol, and maybe this, I don't know if this is 100% intact, but if you go out from a but a possible concussion, you should be out for the rest of the game regardless, because you need to get fully checked out. If you're showing tendencies of a concussion, you need to get fully checked out before you cannot just go back into the game. I believe Tua did.
Yeah, he did. I like that. I think that's a great idea. Hey, symptoms might not show up for another 30 minutes.
Exactly.
It's so sometimes you see it, you stumble, you throw up. There's a whole lot of different things. But if you're being checked out, you're done for the game. I'm tempted to say you have to put a 7-day restriction on them to play in any game. Now, if hey, it's a Thursday, they get a concussion, they have 7 days, they're playing on a Thursday night game but if you're playing on a Monday night game and you get a concussion, you're not playing next Sunday. Is that an overreaction? I think that would be a proper overreaction.
I think that would be the proper reaction. I think that personally, at least.
Because the thing is why I'm saying it would be an overreaction, because if you look at it and they're done for the game, no matter what the outcome is, hey, they're fine, or hey, they're not fine, you're already kind of penalizing them, even if they are okay for that game. The overreaction is, hey, you're done for a week. You're not playing till at minimum. Now you can get into the whole, well, it's a week. Well, that we played Sunday at noon. Can he play Sunday at 7 p.m. the next night? Semantics at that point.
It's Sunday to Sunday. Just make it Sunday to Sunday. Call it a day.
Right. You play Sunday night tonight. You don't play until Monday night. If he's good by Sunday, he can play Monday. I'm okay with that kind of leeway. But cut it off 7 days. He's not playing. Make that the overreaction. Take yours as the proper reaction, and then what? What are we doing? We're fine.
Regardless, I think something has to change.
100%.
Because, and granted, I don't think any of these changes that I talked about or what you talked about is going to happen in season. This is going to be a very long off-season conversation. Very long, because they've already been taking concussions so seriously, and to see it fumbled so bad with Tua, that some people, and I still don't think it's an overreaction with how they're doing it with so many players going into concussion protocol so quick. I don't see a problem with that. Like if they clear concussion protocol, that's fine. But again, shut them down that day.
They're done.
If you're going to put them in concussion protocol, do not let them back in the game. Regardless of what your doctor thinks, like if you have a neurologist, wherever, I don't give a shit.
Symptoms show up hours after the initial event. Right. It happened for me. I had a concussion. I think I was a freshman. Like, I played the rest of the game. To this day, I don't remember what happened in the second half. I felt fine. I was fine, quote. Got home, went out to dinner, thrown up, then got a headache, all the normal symptoms. That was 3-4 hours after.
Right.
That's just even a higher, like, threshold for professional athletes, because I was a fucking freshman in high school. What do I know?
Right.
But, like, I know that it can happen much later than, 10 minutes later, he says he's fine.
Yeah, and that's just how it is. So to close that argument, at least something has to change.
Yeah.
We don't know 100% what that is. We have our ideas, but sitting on our podcast right here, as much as I wish they would listen to somebody,
give me a call. I'll let them know.
Give us a call. We have some good ideas. We've had good ideas before. But to finish up our episode today, we're going to go into fantasy woes and wins. We'll have this as a weekly topic every week. If we think he could be available in your leagues to pick up, and somebody who's probably sitting on your team, that might be time to drop. I think that this is a segment for you. And you want me to go first, or you got somebody for a win or a woe first?
You go ahead.
All right. So for my fantasy wins this week, being that somebody you should pick up and who should be available in a lot of your leagues is Alec Pierce from the Indianapolis Colts. Me and Corey Sparks were talking about this in our group chat the other day, and he has a very good point. When a young receiver catches a touchdown, game-winning touchdown pass, or game-clinching touchdown pass, or something that closes the deal, like that's someone who's going to get looks a lot more often. Now he is beginning to get more and more looks. Plus, we talked about Matt Ryan is the number 2 passer in the league. He could get garbage points or something like that. I think if you have Alec Pierce available in your league, go look at him right now. Receiver for the Indianapolis Colts. He's available. If I looked properly, he's available in about 50% of leagues. And he's a good PPR target in my view. So look at Alec Pierce. You got somebody for me?
Yeah. So not more of a pickup, but more of maybe a buy low situation.
Mm-hmm.
So as much as I don't like his last game wasn't great. This is the running back spot. Running backs are a little bit harder to come by. My thing is Jeff Wilson with the 49ers. He's just outside the top 20. His last game, the only reason I think he kind of fell out was because his last game was kind of bad. Against Atlanta, which weird. I don't know why. Did he get hurt? I didn't think he got hurt.
I don't believe he got hurt, at least.
So up until last week, so maybe it was just game plan. But week 1, 18 for 84, 12 for 75, 18 74, 17 for 120. Like, he's consistent. Like, usually his floor is 75 yards. And even in the game he didn't hit 74 yards, he got a touchdown. So I think Jeff Wilson, you're a little thin at running back, not really thinking. I don't think anyone's has a big affinity for Jeff Wilson. Try to get him. Buy a little low on him, or maybe someone's like, I'll give you Jeff Wilson, and maybe you try to get a 2-for-1, get Wilson and someone else.
Mm-hmm.
I'll go into who I think you need to dump. Is a wide receiver. I'm pulling it up. Where is he?
While you're thinking, Zach, yes, I am going to give a very small snippet. But I think Tuesday's episode, we're going to dive a little deeper into the NBA because obviously tip-off was a couple days ago. We have college football to talk about. We got a lot to catch up on. We are so late in the year already, so we will do our catch-up. Do not worry.
Yep. My drop actually comes from the New England Patriots, Jacoby Myers. Okay. They got the Tyquan Thornton came back. He had he had he had a really good game. I'm pretty sure he had 2 touchdowns, 100 yards.
Mm-hmm.
He's off injury. I think Thornton is a much better player than Myers. So yeah, I think you I think if you're looking at guys who you might be able to part ways with, either in a trade or just dumping, I think Jacoby Myers, because he is still top 30 in wide receiver, so you might be able to package him.
Mhm.
But I think with the resurgence of Thornton, I think his role is going to diminish and he's going to lose value.
Real quick, you're welcome on. I always tell anybody, if you want to be on the show, me and T-Bone will welcome you to any episode.
Not Chris Olave. He'll never come on this show.
If I pull Chris Olave, you are allowing him on the show.
I will ream into him for fucking 45 minutes.
No. You're going to be somewhere else. You will not be on the pod.
Oh, I'll be on the pod then. That guy is not. If I am forced to let him on this podcast, I'm giving him the fucking business. I am playing 42-27 over and over and watching him and Bryce Young piss down their legs when Michigan went.
So are we just going to become the shit talking to athletes podcast?
I know enough athletes. I can shit on anyone I want.
That's
I know enough athletes. Whatever.
So my drop is
TJ's not busy. I'll call his ass.
That's fair. So my woe is not a drop, but a trade. It is another buy or sell low, in my opinion, because he still has
sell. You want to sell him?
It's sell mid. I would say sell mid because his upside.
I'm just clarifying. You're
getting rid of him. Getting rid of him. He's
Yep.
a tight end that came into the league that was supposed to light the world on freaking fire, but he has done nothing. Granted, everyone still thinks that he's going to be good. I still think that he's going to be good.
Nope.
He has Marcus Mariota. He had Matt Ryan in a bad offense. They run a terrible offense for him. Kyle Pitts is somebody to sell or trade. I wouldn't say just drop him.
No.
I don't think that's a good idea. But if you can get a trade for him, and there's always tight ends that are going to muck up the market regardless, like one this week for tonight's game. I believe his name is Juwan. Juwan Johnson is another target for an ad because you have Michael Thomas and Jarvis Landry hurt. What are they going to do? They're going to target their big tight ends. I think Juwan Johnson and who is their other wide receiver is going to have a good game. Is it I don't know. Traquan?
No, there's no good receivers on that team that are active tonight.
That's fair.
Sorry.
That's fair. So,
I don't know any of them.
Just to get into the Bucks, just for a fraction of a second here, just a small update of the game. Champion. There's your small snippet. We're going to give a lot more insight. They're currently winning 30-24 against the Philadelphia 76ers. Giannis is already in midseason form after one quarter.
10 points, 4 for 4. Oh my god.
One quarter. Midseason form. MVP's coming back home to Milwaukee. I think the Bucks are the most complete team in the East, and I don't think it's close. I haven't thought it was close. The only team that is remotely close is Boston, and they're going to shit the bed. So I'm not worried about it. The Bucks were Chris Middleton away from winning the title last year.
Oh yeah, we're going to have to talk about that because I would disagree, but I'm
going to stand on that hill.
I am all in on it if that is the truth, but
that's fair. I respect it. So going across the bottom right now is where you can find us for our socials. This has been MV3. Oh, yeah. You can catch us on Spotify and audio. Oh my gosh. T-Bone, just do it for me. Jesus.
Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at MV3Pod. We're also on TikTok. Not really, but I did have a tweet. TikTok go like 30K people viral. So like, what's up?
Why can't you do that for us?
So you can hit me up on that one. Maybe if I get some time, we start clipping some stuff, put some stuff out there. Or you just follow me and go like my shit's at Coach_Gets, but whatever.
You can give your own shameless plug.
Actually, I'm pretty sure the MV3 pod is also our TikTok. It's not on there, but I'm pretty sure it's the same thing. We made it all uniform. Spotify, Apple, SoundCloud, I believe. Yep.
Yeah, we're SoundCloud rappers.
Yep, that's right. We are. We do say that.
Google Pod, Apple Pod. Yeah, basically anywhere you can get a podcast, check it out. Definitely check out the YouTube too. We're going to I'm going to start personally doing a little bit of separate content with like trivia, and we're going to do what are the two? Wordle and
Purtle.
Is it Purtle? Yep. We're going to do some of those kind of videos.
Might be just we might leave it the way it is here. If I'm able to work it out, might throw it up on my Twitch channel, so you can find it on Twitch if you prefer Twitch, live YouTube, whatever.
It'll be a good thing.
Whole stuff.
We're back, though. We're actually back. We've said this how many times?
Well, because Kyle keeps saying we're back, and then he fucking works second shift, and is like, why can't you guys record
I don't work second shift anymore.
At 10 a.m. on a Monday. And it's like, guy, what are you doing?
I don't work second shift anymore. Right. We have our scheduling problems figured out. It's you're always going to get a healthy dose of me and T-Bone, and we're going to have a healthy rotation of multiple people coming in and out.
Dumb Keith, Big Boy Tyler, Corey, all respect. I got nothing bad to say.
You got to have to respect the man who runs that beautiful podcast, and definitely check him out. You'll see Corey Sparks on this show as well. I know he was trying so hard to get on.
The guy's doing everything. He's announcing everything. He's the next announcer for the Brewers. I'm positive.
So. Oh, I'm positive about that. He's a college student. He's got a job. He runs his own couple podcasts. Next time he comes on, I'll have him shout everything out. But guys, This has been MV3. My name's Kyle Davis. That has been T-Bone. And as always, enjoy the rest of your night. Go Bucks. Go Pack.
I'm going to see Black
Adam. Go Birds. Oh, hell yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Have fun, guys. Talk to you later.
Right.
The only thing with the White Sox, I say they've been coasting into the playoffs, and Tampa Bay's been having to win. It just depends on who gets hot.
The Philadelphia Eagles do have an opportunity.
To be honest, I thought you were going to say the Atlanta Falcons.
No, fuck no. Oh god, yeah, that would have been warranted.
Paul George to show up again, and they need Reggie Jackson to be the best point guard left standing outside of Trae Young, who's hurt.